All right, we're at 1,000, but we're gonna keep going here. D5. I always wish my opponents the best of luck here, because this opening to me it's like, why would you want to bring your queen out and back? Just wasting time. Okay, he goes bishop here. Even though this is not the best way to play, I don't really want him to double my pawns there in that spot. Because I want to keep the option of castling open. All right, here I'm going to make a move that you might find funny. I'm going to check. If he goes here, I'm not going to trade, though. I'm going to bring my bishop back. Because I know when he plays this that he wants to put it there. So I'm just going to cause some disruption in his pieces. Now he has to waste the move going here. But then his knight might have wanted to go there. So I'm just being annoying. Queen e2. Knight here. I'm definitely expecting him to castle. But sometimes you go here. And then immediately they don't castle. So I might wait for him. Bishop's attacked right now, which I think is a huge mistake to let me take. But we'll see if he castles. For sure, I want him to take this. That's a pawn we don't care about. Not only do I get it back right away, but I'm planning to castle this way. So that pawn means nothing to me. So I think that's a pretty big mistake by my opponent here. Rook takes g7, and we're on the attack, officially. f7 will be hanging after that. This is exactly the kind of position that we want. I'm ready to castle. Notice how all my pieces are developed. He's still got a lot of work to do. He's gonna go back. For sure, we're gonna take this. Castling would have also been okay there. I'm not hating on castling, but can't go wrong with rook takes g7 here. So if rook takes there actually is rook g1. Knight takes queen. There's rook g1 again. So again, just to like pick the smartest path forward, I think I'm just gonna take and get castled and know that my opponent is still many moves away from achieving the same thing as me. And because of that, I think I'm going to be able to use that time to our advantage here. Yeah, bishop here is kind of a good looking move, but I'm more looking at queen h5, rook g1 moves. Knight takes f7 is, I mean, I'm definitely kind of considering it, but not that much. Yeah, I think this one makes a lot of sense here. There's also queen here, queen g7, but yeah, as I'm saying, I'm gonna try to keep it pretty routine. Yeah, but then I'm losing my queen symphonic, so it doesn't feel worth it. All right, so the reason I'm happy to see him go here is what? He can't castle without his queen moving, but now his queen can't move. So I feel like this is all exactly what we're looking for here. So this is the exact moment where now that he's got no way to run with his king, right? Now I'm playing knight takes f7, right? I've got all my pieces ready to fire. This is a move that doesn't need much calculation once you see that his king is walled in by his own pieces. So now I've got, look at I've got all three of my diagonal pieces. My knight is even lurking. My rook is covering squares. You don't need much calculation here. Just toss things forward. Good things will happen. And yes, this can be taken, but probably even stronger than taking is taking this, undermining the protection of the knight, and yeah, There's not going to be any way to survive this for him. King there, and it's really a take your pick of how you want to checkmate, and I don't know. Bishop g5 looks kind of nice. We'll go with that one for now. Yeah, we're playing 5-minute games here. c4. We don't see many c4 games. I find c4 relatively easy to play aggressive against. So we'll wait and see how he plays, because g3, bishop g2 is very much in the style of, you know, playing aggressive. And he does go for it. I'm going to choose bishop c5. And a6. This is an example of what I would call a fairly useful move. a6, just to tuck the bishop away. Now, I kind of like h6 to stop this, but you know, a little bit more in the style of, let's say, the series we're doing right now is probably something like this, and maybe h4, h5. I still have to be mindful of this. Like, this is a pretty good way to play and needs an answer. So, I think I'm gonna make a prophylactic move. Bishop out of the way. He only goes bishop here. Now I think is a great time to do this. If he plays h3, I'm kind of happy to see it. He goes here. Definitely annoying, as in, like, defending this is annoying. But I'm happy to use my rook. I'm most likely going to leave my king in the middle this game. But we'll see how he plays. He's probably thinking about this. Bishop e3 for him? I don't know. I mean, I'm happy to take that. I don't think it's a move I should be scared of. Okay, to be honest, taking a knight d4 is kind of a good way to play. But after this, what I can do is play queen d7. And even though this happens, an open line, h5, h4, bishop h3 can all happen. But my opponent is in a unique situation here where he hasn't done anything wrong, right? Maybe this was his worst decision. Not because it's necessarily terrible, but it gives me a little bit of what I want. This bishop is probably stronger than he expects. And my king, I'm not planning to castle anyway. Knight h4, knight d4, and we really start to get in there. So his knight is kind of stuck to the d4 square. In the meantime, these are the moves I'd like to play. When you're fighting against the fianchetto, bishop h3, and then running the h-pawn is always a good idea. So that's my plan if he kind of does nothing. Like if he goes bishop c3, I'm like, okay, I don't really know what you're doing. a4, queen c2, queen there. All these moves don't really scare me too much. Yeah, a3. This is a perfect example of a useless move. Perfect example. a3, like, I don't even blink when I see a3. I'm like, okay. Queen a2, what are we talking about here? Okay, so there's that move, knight h4. I thought he would be tempted by it, but I was always mentioning knight d4. He was kind of tied to that square. Okay, queen here. He's actually getting very, very close to a big blunder. I know that he's blundering knight c2, but I think he's very close to an even bigger one. So we'll definitely start with this, because this move will lose the game instantly, and it's possible even worse things happen here. Because remember, queen a5, I still have knight b3 if I really want to win that rook. So the rook's not going anywhere. It's not like I saw an exchange and said no to it. I'm wondering if I can get a little bit more out of the position. So bishop here, queen d5, c6, queen e4, f5, queen e3, knight takes e2 check. So how does he actually survive? Bishop takes e2 is good as well. Great move. But I'm hunting bigger fish right now. Queen here, I've got a5. Tell me where that queen is going. Not here, right? I want it to go to the dreaded c3 square. And remember, if the queen went to d5, we already worked that out. c6, check, f5, and then knight takes check would win the queen as well. So we're kind of getting that queen to go exactly where we want. I don't know what to recommend here for him. Honestly, you might just have to do that and at least get a knight for your queen. You certainly don't want to lose it for a pawn. Maybe queen takes bishop is the best. Yes, I don't have a great pawn structure, but at least the center is not open right now. And I can maybe use the G file myself. Credit to him for queen takes there. And I didn't want to rush to take this pawn because, first of all, it should always be there. If he plays a move like this, he's going to run into even more trouble. He can't use the d1 square. So kind of baiting him into further damage. Because there's no way he could defend it anyway. So yeah, now I'll take this. And at this point, my pawn structure quite literally might be the worst in the world. Like, awful here. Truly is. But I'm up a lot. Yes, I'm gonna go here. I barely even know what to do. This pawn structure is terrible. Even though I'm up so much material, it doesn't even feel good. f4 is low-key a great move by him. I'm gonna play this ASAP. I really like f4 by him. Like, if you just look at the structure, white's position is amazing. Okay, he goes f5. I'll have to take. I think he should have kept his knight there. Yeah, now he's kind of got the wrong idea. He's closing his bishop. That won't be good. I've got h4, and we're back on the attack here. Maybe this. Yep. We survived. We won a lot of material that game. But it was a good fight against the English. That was a really good game by Buddy there. I like that one. All right. We're back with the Caro-Kann. I'll continue to play the two knights here, but pretty soon I feel like people are going to really know how to handle it properly, so it won't be like as effective. Okay, let's see if we can just get his bishop here. Once again, give me that. Okay, yeah, knight f6, I guess. He is giving me the bishop, just in a different way. So I think we'll take, bring the bishop out, d4 probably coming next. This queen is eyeballing the knight, but if I move my knight right away, I think the knight just comes back. So we'll wait and see how we want to play against that. This move looks wrong. Very wrong. He's going for some attack on my center before he's even covered that knight on h5. Like, if you have a random knight here, you should probably be bringing it back into the middle of the board as soon as possible. Truly. So I think bishop check is a good start. I can go like this, then the knight comes back, then check, then knight d7, and amazingly, I think he kind of holds it together, especially with queen a5 check coming. So if we start with this, the other thing though is he can play knight c6, and the tough part for me is a move like that, he actually has queen a5 check. So this queen a5 check move is kind of bailing him out right now, and I'm not loving that. I think we'll go with a move that we definitely know is good, knight e5. But yeah, I'm not so keen on bishop e5, mainly because of that, sadly. Can only expect this move from him. But I'm always ready to be surprised. And there's a surprise. Pawn takes. If he checks me, we can go like that. He goes g6. Queen f3 to continue the pressure. Once again, loses to the same idea. Queen a5 is a menace to deal with. So I'm going all the way back to e2 to make sure I'm guarding this. And I'm also setting up a nice little idea here. Knight takes f7. So that came as a dual purpose move. And even though he has this move now, we can respond simply bishop d2, and we'll be crushing here. But I think queen h5, g6, queen f3 looks like a double attack, but such a big mistake allowing queen a5. I have to be so mindful of this check when there's a wide open fifth rank. So he's going to go for it anyway. We'll go like this. Again, taking always gets mated. It's not even about the queen. So he has to move this. Queen a4, bishop b5 is pretty nasty as well. He goes here, which does walk into knight d6. So we'll just go ahead and take that. GG. Been enjoying the Sicilian positions for attacks, but now we're gonna get an open Sicilian. Most people just kind of play bishop c4 without thinking. I'm gonna play a6. The reason I'm playing this particular Sicilian is, first of all, he might just castle this way, and that would mean we just, I mean, the moves kind of play themselves. But if he goes here and here, then it would be slightly more normal. Okay, let's develop. Yeah, so the Sicilian just, it's the type of position that lends itself to a move like h5. Like h5 seems silly here, but it's not ridiculous. So takes, hit, and then he plays g3. That's a little too much. That's probably what we don't necessarily want to do. Here it looks like f4 can happen, so I think we just continue developing. But if I traded the move h5 for h3, I'm pretty happy in general. At some point, I feel like that knight g4 move might make an appearance. Like right now, it's definitely playable. It has decent energy to it. Not the best, but decent. threatening mate, obviously. Takes looks frightening for him. He does have queen g3 there. I'm planning on meeting moves like that with something like bishop d6, but we'll see how it happens. But yeah, the general plan is like, yeah, bishop here is great. Okay, so he does play bishop f4. Definitely sketchy to leave your knight completely hanging like this, but I think he's kind of bailed out by the fact that in that position, yeah, he is okay. We can meet this move in a number of ways, though. I could bring this knight back to e5. I could also bring this knight to e5. If we're just thinking about the structure, I mean, this is a pretty good way to proceed. But one thing I don't want necessarily is this, and then just that's it. Because if h4, there is queen takes g4. Because then my knight will really be taken. So I think I have to use this knight to retreat here. Taking here does look like an idea, but not my favorite. e5 is also it's a pretty serious consideration. Something about it doesn't feel right because the knight jumps in, and I see something like that, and that pretty much does it for the calculation for me. It might be the move, it might be a great move, but I see something like that and it's just not the kind of position I want to get into. So I have a feeling that e5 actually is the best move. You really calculate it out, but I'm not looking to be too stressed. Let's take with the queen. I know it feels like knight takes is better to hit the queen, but I actually kind of like queen takes a lot. The knight has to respond now. And then I can bring the bishop behind my queen, or maybe to c5. Well, the thing, Ilya, is it's not necessarily that I'm right and you're wrong. It's like, you might be right. Maybe e5 is the best move there. But it looks like a move I'm trying to avoid. Just not the kind of position I want afterwards. Okay, bishop here and bishop here both look tremendous. Obviously, this is a little more tempting. Really what I'd like to do is play bishop here. I just don't like him being able to trade queens. So I like this because it doesn't allow it. And if I can have things my way... Okay, he's kind of blundering here, but not quite. Let's just go back. Not only can I still set this up, but this is truly hanging. If I can have it my way, I would castle, g4, g5. These are the kind of moves that I'd like to see next. Yeah, still this one exists, so not much we can really do about that. g5 is a good move, so it should be played. But yeah, after queen g3, if I'm being objective, queen should probably be traded there. And I'm still on the attack, so it's not like a total loss after that. Yep, a good move. I really can't see myself avoiding this very easily, but I'll go here. And like I said, I think we're still very much on the attack here. Okay, let's stop that. I'd like to play king e7. This bishop is tremendous. Ooh, okay. I really feel like he's getting his knight here, which, although our position is I'm getting to be pretty good. I do feel like our specific attacking prospects are going down. We still have a5. The reason I did this is because it's way too easy for him to coordinate is if he plays a piece there. So I'd like to go like this and then h4 and g4. If I play g4, he's going to go h4. So I'd like to go g4 in a way that he has to take me. Yeah, I can't do that unless I go h4 first. So we'll put that knight on a really bad square, and then we'll make sure to immediately play g4. Like I've been saying, still on the attack. Don't count me out yet. f4 we can return maybe. How do we want to do things? h3 looks like a little much. Let's go here. Okay. At least I can continue to open things with h3. Attacking without a queen is definitely difficult. But the bishop on b6 is so strong. Okay. I think this just wins here. h2 pretty much gets things done, but yeah. This actually is a little bit better because it comes with checks, and it's still forced mate. This guy is just controlling so many squares that are valuable here, including e3, so that this is actually checkmate. You would never expect it, but that bishop from b6 was putting work in. There's a reason I put it on c5 earlier instead of d6. d6 was kind of the obvious move to threaten mate. I decided to do bishop c5. It ended up that he traded queens, but you know, we're still pressuring with the bishops and the rooks there. He did a good job just not making any major blunders. That was impressive by him. Even here, b4 is kind of good. I just felt like bishop here, he was always going to go like that. I would win a pawn. You always got to say yes to stuff like that. But I thought we're not taking a big hit by playing this, and we keep the attack going. But shout out to him. He got the queen trade anyway. That was well done. Right, d4. d4, e3. I wonder. Okay. Thought he was maybe gonna go f4. Okay. This guy seems crazy, so like we'll just ask him how crazy he is. You wanna take me or something? I'm gonna call you out, dude. You wanna take me? Go ahead. I think we castle here. Even though he can castle the same way as us, we still have some aggressive prospects. Plus, the way he was playing was like, he really is a guy that can play aggressive. Okay, he goes knight d5. Taking feels good because it gets out of the way of my pawns, which I can push forward. Probably take. Okay, we'll do this one. It's probably going to go back, and then we got to take some of the center here. Whoa, very surprising move. I'll definitely capitalize on that and just gain a ton of space here. I mean, how many times does that bishop move? 1, 2, 3, 4, just to get to a normal square. You have check, but I can sidestep. I think the worst that's going to happen here is in the past. Let's go like that. Knight here, knight here. That's not the one. I'll take that. And has the guy actually done something funny here? Has he like set me up for success? I think he's gonna go here. Yep. Poor lad there. Poor lad. Got a nice win there, buddy.
Oh.
Yep. Maybe he was trying to pull a fast one. You know, he's 1,000, so I feel like he just didn't see it. But, you know, high value move there. High risk, high reward. D4. Okay. B3 is certainly surprising. Bishop A3 is more surprising. Okay. I am thinking about queen here, but probably not the best with this and this happening. I think maybe this. Okay, we have the light squares, but that's about it right now. Nothing that we have is overly impressive. We want to make sure we start to get some pawns on like dark squares as well. And to be honest, I'm trying to avoid that if I can. How do we create an aggro position? This could actually work quite well. Let's do this. Yes, we take. Now what about this? Now there's just stuff going on. Okay, so it takes, but I'll take this instead, and this is exactly the kind of aggressive position I'm looking to play. So bishop back somewhere, and then queen takes g2. Rook has to go here. There is bishop h3, which is definitely the follow-up that I'm going for. I'm gonna start like this though. See if we can get that bishop to leave. Most likely he's gonna go there. Him playing here would be the worst move. Categoric worst move. So I just wanna give him the opportunity to mess up. Bishop here, there's f3, so I think we do have to continue like this. Unfortunately, he has knight d2, so we're not winning like on the spot or anything. But we still have a good position. We can move the queen out of the way and maybe pick up the exchange. I wish we had better than that. Oh, okay. Well, obviously we're trading queens here, but it doesn't matter when we're winning material like this. E6 is a move. Let's go here so we're not falling into that. Let's go here. I was going to go to h3 because I didn't want to allow this, but we can play rook g6 if that happens. So now it's not pinned. Seems logical to do that, but I'd rather offer a trade. We're up a full rook here, so not much to do. Look to trade as much as possible, so maybe knight here, knight here. In this speedrun, I'm not doing like one particular opening. So you'll see me mix it up a little bit. Good game. Good game. It was a pretty good fight early on, I have to admit. My opening was certainly not very good. In a weird way, he kind of got everything he wanted. G5 here, I actually really like. I think that was a smart move by me, if I can give myself some credit here against the 1000, because he had a good position. This doesn't look comfortable. G5 was actually the exact energy that the position needed, because I needed to get developed very quickly and get castles and explode in the center. And yeah, it takes E5, gave me something to play for. Get a really good opening. Really weird start, but really good opening. I have to give it to him. We're not at 1050 just yet. All right, it's that time. Let's see if we're about to encounter somebody who can play this opening well. Okay. So I'm actually open to castling this way because a lot of times they castle queenside in this opening. So I do want to wait and see where he's going to go. He does go kingside, so I'm going to go queenside. Takes. I hope he doesn't just blunder that. Okay, he's definitely done a better job than most people in this spot. What you're going to see from me is most likely... It's most likely going to be a form of G4, whether it's G4 right now or G4 in a second. It's a great way to forcefully open up some lines. So I think we don't need to rush in this particular position. The only thing about this that I was just noticing is maybe knight e4 is kind of annoying. So for that reason, it might be good to, because yeah, here knight e4 would happen. I have g4, takes, bishop back, h4. I guess that is still pretty good. Yeah, we can do this. I was gonna play g4, but it's probably a little bit too much. It did look like a good move, but this followed by g4, a5 is way too slow. So watch how quickly we get an overwhelming attack here. Should be able to do it. Here, probably just like this. Yeah. We can take here. We can also start with g5. G5 allows knight d5, which maybe we don't want. Whereas taking first, we ensure that we capture this. So if we're really playing our best, we'll take this first, just to not allow knight there. If this move forced something else, then I actually like this move first. But here, we need to take... I'm not looking to trade queens, so I'm going to start like this. The king has to now find itself on the H file, and then we'll probably go with something like G5, sorry. So yeah, we'll start with this. I have D5 coming, which is going to be really nasty. Yeah, it's not a bad move, to be honest. I can support it with a rook. I can also do this one. Yeah, that does look pretty good. d5, there's knight takes d5. Not that that's a problem, but it does exist. Thing is, at this point, there's so many ways to win. I'm gonna go for this one. Looks like it has the opportunity to be the most entertaining. Yeah, at this point, takes, very, very good. Rook e1, very, very good. The only move that really looks dangerous is knight takes d5 here, but we can take. I was gonna go rook d8 check, pawn takes, lose my queen, and then take on g7 with rook h8 mate and pawn g8 mate. And that looked like the most fun that we were gonna possibly have. As for this, in terms of the position, it definitely looks like there's gonna be some mate that no one wants to talk about happening soon. Okay, we're gonna take here with the pin. The nice thing is after a move like knight here, queen takes, you know, he can't really stack the piece. So takes and takes here is what we'd like to get to work, but it still doesn't quite do it. And wow, this one, I mean, you're really asking for it. I suppose it should be pawn takes. Check. Good game. Got a nice attack in there. Let's keep going. Keep the attacks going. E4. I've been playing a lot of E4, knight F3, D4. Just a comfortable opening. Wow. I haven't seen that one before. A lot of ways to react here. 1, 2, and maybe 3 come to mind as the most likely. And I don't really want to play a position like this where we trade queens. So with that in mind, there's not too many options here. I'm going to take. The thing after queen takes is like pawn takes e5 is very playable. But it's probably not the best. So this is an example of a game where we might have to kind of do what he's looking to do. Even though our position will be fine, I think we kind of might have to go for a queen trade. Yeah, 95 is it's a good move. All right, we'll play this. We'll give up this pawn for a fake initiative that we're hoping to get. At this point, we're trying to just go here. Queen g5 would be a strong idea. Get gone for it. Yeah, this is an option, but of course, castling first, no doubt. We would never do this. He's got a little bit of problems developing his bishop, so I'm definitely going to take the opportunity to do this. Not only do I want to keep the queens on the board, but I also wouldn't mind an open line on the g file. So I think that move was Unfortunately, a very good attempt to trade queens, but I don't think I was ever going to entertain that idea. Okay, I like d5 here. That move's impossible. He can go knight d4, but almost looks like his knight gets in trouble there. Oh man, I really want to sacrifice here. Gotta say no. Gotta say no. Maybe queen g2, but I guess he gets the knight there, so he's kind of getting some good stuff going. Yeah, let's go here. Rook g1, we'll make a baby threat. His queen is really well placed. You can imagine a move like king b1 necessary. Like, we have to play this move next. Okay, I'm just gonna start with a mate threat. You might go here, you might go here, but king b1, very important. Yeah, so my bishop is gonna be very strong now. I'm thinking this is an option. Yeah, our bishop is hanging, but so is potentially the knight. But yeah, let's keep it a little controlled. King b1 though, super important move to play. I'll probably be doing this and then like knight e4, maybe d6, something like that. Yeah, I can't calculate too much. I just got to go king b1 because I'm not going to have any threats if that knight stays pinned, truthfully. a5 is a great move by him, and I'm going to have to fight some, like I want to attack, but I'm also going to have to play a bit of defense in this series as well. Sadly, this looks like a moment where like queen g3 would be close to a good move at some point. So I'm probably not going to give in. We're going to go a3. I have to give him some credit for a5, sadly. e5 is another great move, and this is why I was saying I think I'm going to have to do this. Our bishop is tremendous here, but this is a little bit too fast. Yeah, queen g3 is it's definitely a good move. Because once I take with the pawn, I have g4. But I don't think I can keep my queen on the board here. Especially when there's not really a threat here. So queen g3. And as I've been saying, we're still not fully giving up on attacking prospects here, but I'm definitely putting them on pause. My attack is still scary without a queen. His attack is scarier than mine with a queen. So I had to play queen g3 there, I think. b4 and a4 were both incoming. I'm about to play g4. And don't forget about this diagonal. In a really competitive game though at the moment. He's playing well. Usually whenever I go so far as to hand over a compliment to my opponents, though, they blunder. It's just kind of a curse. Now, when this knight inevitably moves, we want to be there for rook takes h7. We want to make sure we're there. So let's start the process by doing this, encouraging knight takes, and then knight f3. Oops, we lost our pawn, and then bam. This knight we need to take, but I think we're still going to be able to blunder this and play our rook h7. Yay! Nice checkmating combination there. Good to know that one for sure. So yeah, obviously we did queen g3 out of necessity a little bit, but he played well. He played well. A5, B5, but now queen G3. Even though it's a bit of a concession, because I would love to keep the queen on the board for this series, queen G3 is a very good move. It forces a trade, and it brings my pawn up to G4, which is exactly what bothers all three of these pieces. And then I can use the H-file. Meanwhile, his attack doesn't really go anywhere anymore. So even though it looks like I was conceding a lot there, my position actually got significantly better. So it was a good game by Mark in Space. Definitely well played. Pixel Pusher. A lot of people play this against the Sicilian. Yep. So we'll attack the bishop, we'll attack the pawn. Yeah, I've really noticed this move. Super common. I'm just going to play bishop d6. People love to go here. G3 is, of course, a very, very dangerous move. The diagonal is crying. H5, H4. I'm kind of waiting for him to castle here. At the moment, I feel like he's trying to delay and maybe castle this way. But I got these pawns ready for him there. So I'm wondering what he's going to do. How's he going to handle it? I think so. Too greedy decks. While it was possible, while it might be good, I'm more interested in just kind of getting a regular position and then maybe attacking with it. Okay, looking to maybe get the dark squares here. I really think he's like scared to castle this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his dark square bishop, and then I'm going to castle this way so that we get some play here. There will be stuff happening. There will be stuff happening. Well, this looks like a good start because it means there's going to be some open line here. That's a guarantee. Rook b8 soon. Queen a5. Yeah, you're not wrong, Fisher Seb. Just not the full spirit of the series. I'm looking to attack. Alright, so he's gone here. He's made his bishop a terrible piece. But, lucky for him, I'm attacking. And I'm not done yet. So, I'm here to make your bishop a better piece, buddy. I'm here to help you out. See, he's just like fully dealing with an onslaught on his king. Is my king being attacked? Not really. Not really. Okay. Right here, we're gonna get a free piece slash attack. I still have a4 coming. I guess he could trade queens here, but as I've gone over a few times, people who are ready to trade queens like that, you always gotta take it on the chin. This is a fantastic move. I didn't see that. But actually our decision here won't be that difficult because there's no way I'm trading queens like that. So I actually only have one move. In the end, it presented me with a very obvious choice. This is going to lose the queen. Oh, there was queen e7 there. Yeah, maybe you could have gone for it. I mean, I gained like 15 tempi, so I would feel pretty good about it, but it's true that it might have worked. Man, this guy's finding like all these like weird intermezzos. It's like impressive. Let's go all the way in. I gotta keep my dark square bishop. Still, my king has been basically untouched the entire time. Queen b6, he actually might have knight f5, but queen here, then his only move is c3. Again, he kind of survives there, but it's still the move we should play. Bishop d4 won a pawn on f2, Mr. Ted, but like, I mean, just listen to what you're saying. Didn't it win a pawn? Yeah, it did. Are we playing these games to win pawns? No, of course not. Also, if you're counting, we don't really have the advantage right now in material. So winning one pawn, that's not good enough for me. I can't cash in for one pawn. No way. All right. I think we're finally succeeding. At long last. But remember, he played h4. So he was getting his attack going there. That was a very well played game. He was quite resourceful there by him. Like overall, I guess it wasn't great. He played g3, weakening. Then I knew he was probably castling queenside. He lost his dark square bishop, but in terms of big mistakes, it wasn't that bad. b3, for better or for worse, was a nice try. Yeah, knight b5 was a great move here. Really smart. I didn't see it, so then we had to work a little bit harder. But the position was always trending very nicely in black's favor. And he played well. That was a nice game. Thanks for the 21 months, Zolthus. And Sunstorm EP, thanks for the Prime. All right. I've suggested a few setups we can go for when people do this. He's going c5. I think I'm just going to push, try to keep things simple. But yeah, effectively my setup is pretty much like f3, queen d2, and then bishop h6 with the h-pawn. Never really like to play queen d2 when the knight's there though. Okay, this will get me to play a4 almost all the time, just to stop b5. And yeah, this is what I was saying. Queen d2 always feels funny because of this. Hits the bishop and stops that. So I like to play f3 when I see the knight. And we'll see how this works. Queen d2. That's all I got. That's my plan. e6. I don't think he's a fan of what I was up to. I can't really go for this now because the center is about to open. Probably knight to e2 next. Do I care about this b2 pawn? Nope. No, I do not. In fact, I'd be a little bit happy if he took it. It's a good move. He's getting some trades in. I'm probably going to go here. I'm a little bit more concerned about b2, but still not so much. I just need to secure this square. Then I can be a little bit more of an h4, h5 guy. let's go here. Yeah, I'm trying to secure this. Knight e5, I'm kind of expecting. And I'm just about ready to do this. Have to be careful with moves like bishop h6 right now, because queen h4 would be a nasty check. So you can already see the tactics developing. The knight moves and then queen h4. So certainly want to be mindful of that. Right now, though, this pin looks kind of nasty. The only reason I'm not going to play that move is because h6. And if I take it, same things that I just talked about. So are we going to go all in with something like this? It looks completely insane because of this. But maybe it could be played. So I would play this move without a second of hesitation if I were him. Very good stuff there. I can't take because there's no way I can give him that. Yes, he can take the open B file, but he's going to go here, which I think gives me a little bit more breathing room. My bishop is still good. Maybe knight f4. Okay, kind of has some intentions here. At long last, folks, it might be time for our, very first aggressive move of the game. We made it. We did the move. And this is great because he's attacking me. It's not just like it's a one-sided game. No, he's really coming for me here. I thought maybe he was going to take on a4. He didn't. I don't think so, Northrop. Knight takes f6, queen f6, knight d5, queen checkmate. So, thought about that, but ultimately I don't think it worked. Okay, great. This is going to be fully just, completely double-edged. So when he takes, I think I can play king b1 there. And although he has b3, I can take that as well. Meanwhile, over here, I actually don't like the idea of him moving his bishop back. So even though normally I would keep my bishop here and play h4, h5, in this particular spot, I think I'm going to take first. Because I don't like the bishop eyeballing that, and I don't like him playing bishop h8, which is a move I think he almost should have played instead. Now, if I take, the king will have to come straight out into the open. So that comes to mind. But I think I'm going to keep it slightly more sensible. I'm going to go here. Takes, I'm going to slide my king over. So I'm going all in on the attack here. If you play something like this, maybe I'll take, but also g4 just rip the position open. I can't move the bishop because of checkmate 1, so we'll be careful of that. And that move looks really wrong. Yeah, takes makes a serious threat. I know this move looks tempting, but I think it's better to do this. Yes, he'll have to take. Yes, I'll take back. It's the only move for him. But my bishop is going to be really, really strong from d5. I can cover b3. This pin is something he can't get out of. In fact, he's just going to blunder it. Check. And this gets mated in 1. This doesn't quite get mated immediately. But remember, bishop b3 is like the best defensive move I can ask for. Knight e7 check, king here. If knight takes, I have to deal with a2 hanging. And if bishop takes, I have to deal with c2 hanging. Both are kind of annoying. So even though I have this move, much better is going to be bishop b3 first. '97. I think that's the simple answer. 87. Yeah, I guess the reason we'll delay here is h5, because takes we have h6, and queen d8 to get a trade with us. We can play knight e7, king has to go to f8, then h6. So yeah, we'll throw in a nice little intermezzo here for a potential mate. King f8, the only way to get out of it. And then in that spot, I actually like pawn takes bishop, because then I can bring a rook here and deliver mate. And the most likely move in that situation will be queen e7, which will mate himself. Queen d8 would be the best move, but we can check, and that'll be mate. So we definitely do expect this, but he's been defending kind of well. Queen d8, I could see him finding. But if he doesn't really see our intention, our next move is this, to cut the king off, and then we checkmate with that. Credit for the best move in the position. Check, and you're not able to run away, sadly. GG. I liked that game a lot for this series because I was certainly under pressure here. By the time I made my first aggressive move, it was move 16. He was actually fully mobilized. If I were him, I would be sending moves like this, like c4, like just everything. This looked like a really promising position for him. Even taking here looked quite good. So I was not better this game, but I made a crazy decision here. I mean, short castle and we have a very good position, but I definitely wanted to make it into an aggressive position, but he did the right thing. In this position, instead of like just making a random knight move or whatever, because then I'll bowl him over with this, instead he goes e6. That ensured the center would get open, which means I can't just go crazy like that, and that's why I did it. So this was kind of a key move. All right. Okay, we're gonna get the French. I usually go with knight c3 against it. Okay, we didn't really get the French. We get this move. I'm just gonna go here. And yeah, I'm not gonna go too crazy with moves like c4, just gonna develop. Okay, if I play here, takes, I guess knight takes, but I'm actually looking to take with the pawn there. So let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna go here, takes with the pawn, bishop d3, queen e2, and I want to set up like queen e4. Of course, anticipating that he short castles, which is the most likely situation. And yeah, I don't want to take with the knight and allow more trades. Pawn on e5 is a great attacking instrument. When you have a pawn here against the king, you can usually do a lot with it. Let's go queen e2. Okay, so now I'm thinking he might be planning this. So I almost want to throw in a move like this to scare him a little bit. Like I'd like him to go back this way. And I don't want to play knight d2. That's going to allow knight f4. That's the worst thing to do here. This move is, it doesn't actually like serve an attacking purpose here. It's more just like, oh, you want to castle this way? Well, now it looks scary. Hoping to get him overthinking. Because I'd like him to go kingside. That's what I want. Even though taking looks pretty good, I think I'm actually going to take this way. Bishop takes, drops this pawn, so it has to be queen takes. And then I'll go knight a3, looking to bring my knight into the game. Yes, this move exists, but I'm ready to take it. And you can castle, but you're definitely giving me a lot of tempi here with the pieces. Okay, knight c4. Or knight b5. I kind of like just a5 here. If knight takes, then knight b5. I mean, a7 is loose with an open file for me. Plus, I don't know, maybe there's like a sack or something. Queen c6 would be the move we want. Knight f4 is a blunder. That's check. Doesn't have time to take my queen. He plays the best move. Definitely the best move. I'm kind of liking b4. It looks aggressive, looks fun. But it might be a little too much. Let's see. This is what too much looks like. It's probably too much, but let's see if we can make it work. Okay. Taking definitely comes to mind. This pawn is loose, so our position is super shaky right now. So this one, yeah, that's there. We're gonna have to sacrifice. You already know this is kind of forced. Nice thing is this is covered. That can be taken, but at least there's no like crush right down the middle. So what I'm most likely, because all I need is a rook on a1. So I'm going to start with a check. Of course, the king's going to go back. But you'll notice I don't really have a follow-up there. Okay, wow. Never mind. I take it all back. Take it all back. Not only do I have queen c4 to win the knight, which is nice. I also have b5 and bishop a3, which is effectively checkmate. Like, not exactly, but it's something that so closely resembles it. Check. Obviously, after this, he wants to run this way, so we just need to check here, here. Bishop here, c5 takes, king takes. You wish that was more of a mate than it is. It's not. So I'm actually more inclined to give this check. Because after this, and I take, king takes, it's nice to take this with check, and then have bishop check, and like everything kind of follows. Okay, now this is something else. All right, let's start with this check. Unless there's some mate here, but I don't think so. So check, have to go back. And then check again. Same thing. And now if you go there, it's a little bit different. My first double check is going to be this move, which I don't think works. Like, I mean, it works, but not necessarily by force. And queen check here. Bishop a3, c5. Pawn takes and then take the queen. I think that's the way to go. I know it's tempting to go bishop c5 and then mate, but after bishop c5, I think king c7 can be played. So I think it's key after this to take en passant. Check. I know bishop c5 he'll probably take, but he could go there, which is better. That is a check. And yeah, at this point, I'll just take here and set this up. The nice thing is after bishop there, bishop b5 is a super good move. King here, there's bishop d4 check, which is a little bit funny. Don't want to fall into that, but I think we can keep hunting the king. With this check, you still have to watch out for that. Now this check maybe. And all of these squares I'll probably give more checks. And then this one, of course, the king slides over. This check. And to truly finish things off with checks, I guess this is the one to do. So that comes with a check. And there's no time for this because it's check. You can go here, but I'll grab it. Yeah, and this looks maybe like you're kind of running away, but the squares are covered, so we're able to get a pawn checkmate here, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. We'll take it. All right, we're almost at 1100. That was we hunted him down there. That was a good one. 95. All right. Queen here. What am I supposed to do? Let's start with this one. I feel like he's gonna go queen there. Oh, he does go here. Okay. Queen takes is very, like, I guess you can play it. Man, that looks suspicious. Bishop here, queen c3 is like barely hanging on. Queen b6. Oh, knight d3, and we're actually worse. Unbelievable. Man. He's really living on the edge here. He doesn't know how much he's edging. Okay, I mean... Okay, let's do this. Expecting castle. If not, he's most likely going to blunder this. Something like bishop g5, for example. But yeah, he does castle, which is good. That's the move, all right. I wish I could do this, but that one is kind of hanging right now. So let's just go here, preparing the long castle. I was thinking about this and getting developed like that, but it's too slow. I need to go quicker than that. That looks like a pawn I'm happy to see on e3. Knight here takes is still a problem. So let's go here. Thinking about castling still. I'd really like to play this. Maybe he'll move this bishop to guard the pawn. Or that. Yeah, that does the trick as well. Alright. We're playing knight g4. I wonder if he's really going to think aggressive with queen takes g7 or not. Because if he's thinking just reactive, this is like not an easy thing to spot, that you could all of a sudden take on g7 there. I don't think that's obvious. Let's go here. But if he took, I was going to take here. Queen takes h8, king up, and if he took here, I think knight g4 was leading to mate there. Okay, he does take it now. I could kind of do the exact same thing that I was going to do. Like I was going to take here. Here I can long castle, but if I take here, I think we do give him the opportunity to make the same mistake. Because it's weird, but these pieces actually coordinate perfectly to deliver mate here. And his queen is attacked. So I wonder if the bells and whistles are going off right now, that something might happen, because there are KOs on the horizon here. He can take here, but right, he's going to lose the material. Okay, he does go here. Makes me think he's suspecting something, but his move doesn't really do anything about it. Knight f5 wins the queen here, but I was thinking more like this. So, knight here, the reason why it won't be a smothered mate is knight d4. So that's why I'm sitting here and I'm like still pondering what we're gonna do. I think I'm still gonna go for it, but it's not immediately winning. This is immediately winning. Let's see what he wants. Okay, yeah, he didn't go for knight d4, so now we get this check, and hopefully you guys know the pattern by now. Once you're at this point, there's no way to stop it because it's double check. So I can force the knight to take the queen and deliver a nice smothered mate with knight f2. That always feels good, no matter who you're doing it to, no matter what your rating is. That will always feel like a success at any rating range. One more. Let's go with our Sicilian. It's providing the best attacking position so far. And 1100 is on the horizon. We finally see. It's been a while, but we finally see what I would say is a good way to play. And I think the position I'm going to take here is actually one with an isolated pawn, if I can get it. So I'm going to go d5. Take with the pawn, surprising. And yeah, just try to develop like that. Okay. Goes here. I might play knight e7. It's kind of nice just to block the e file. It means like, okay, yeah, this move, for example, I think we're happy with. Maybe take the bishop with the knight, so we keep this guy. the king. Not castling, just moving the king. I think we're still leaving options open here for our pieces. Definitely a sketchy position for my king. I can't lie. Why no castling? Well, I don't want to castle on the same side, you know? And I didn't really have time to get castled this way. Okay, knight a3. No immediate threat, which is nice. Always like dealing with situations where I'm not missing something straight away. Bishop here. Rook e8. I mean, I'd really like to do stuff like this. After bishop there, like, yeah, I can take it, but probably just h5 first. At least this piece isn't headed towards like the center of the board where I would feel a little more nervous about my king. So if h3, knight takes is actually going to win the bishop. So he's under a bit of pressure. He can definitely play a move like this. I'm still not seeing the threat, so let's continue with this. Our king is really... I feel like it's getting him to play moves like this, b4. It looks like a juicy target. This is like the matador. But h4, the bishop doesn't have any squares on this diagonal. He might go rook here. I can definitely see that happening. I'm looking to take straight away in that case. Straight away. Rook here is actually looking quite likely. He goes here. Not much we can do except this. But it's just painful to me that he might play this, and that is our that's our top attacking piece right there. Like, things are ruined without that bishop open. Sadly. So I'm really hoping he takes this. That's helpful. That's the stuff we like to see. We take and pick your poison because I'm going knight g3 regardless. I'm going rook h1 no matter what. And we are going to get our checkmate. Well deserved, I'd like to say. Yeah. Promoted to a rook. Give me another one. Your attacking chess will improve if you follow this series and learn the basics first. I promise you. Subscribe to chessbrah on YouTube if you're not subscribed already, and click that bell to turn on post notifications so you never miss another upload.